Mike, don't do
Percival Hubble, born May 23rd, 1937, in Otonabee Township, Peterborough, Ontario. I moved from there as an infant to Highland Grove, Ontario. Lived with my great-grandfather, John Soucy. John Soucy was raised in Indian River, Ontario. He went back north, back to Highland Grove, and the government granted him 100 acres, but he had to clear it. He went back with a team of horses, and a plow, and a wagon, and a crosscut saw.
And how old was he?
I don't know, probably 18, 19 years old in those days. Probably, I don't know, I have no idea. His team ran away, came home to Indian River. He had to walk from there through the woods to bring them back, and on the way he met a black bear. He said it had a red nose. I doubt that. But anyway, he yelled and hollered, and the bear went away, and he went to Indian River, got on the one horse, rode it, and led the other one back, cleared his 100 acres, got another 100 acres, so he had 200 acres, and he farmed it for the rest of his life. I have to add this on my grandmother's side, my mother's mother. Her father was Andy Evans. He had 3 wives and 27 children. There was no TVs in those days. Anyway, he's buried in Wilberforce, Ontario. He's in the middle with a great big cross or tombstone. One wife's there, the other one's there. So you could see it if you went back there. Anyway, and then we come out during the war. The war was still on, to a farm that had no running water, no telephone, of course no hydro. We had a wood stove. Had to walk to school 2 miles each way.
How old were you?
I was 6 then, by this time. I was 6 when we came out. And went to Stewart, SS number 10 Stewart Hall in Otonabee, till grade 8. On the good days, if my dad wasn't working, he would take us in a team and sleigh in the wintertime. That was really, really, really amazing to do that. What else am I going to say? To get the hydro into the farm, we had a great big long laneway. My dad dug the holes, every hole by hand, put in the hydro poles, then the hydro come along and strung the wire. So we didn't get hydro till I was in high school, 12, 13 years old. And then we had a black and white TV, about 12 inches. No aerial, nobody had aerials. And it was, we get Peterborough Station, very snowy, you know what I mean? And what else do you want me to tell you? Knock it off.
Your first car.
Stop it.
What was your first car?
Eh?
Your first car.
My first car was a 1941 Plymouth Coupe. And then I had a 47 Pontiac. And then I had a 53 Ford V8 fast. And then I had, I don't know what I had 53 Chevs and 54 Pontiacs and 67 Ford. And I don't remember that Dodge, how old that Dodge was you guys drove. Buick. I can't remember the years. And then I had a 19, can't remember the Nissan, little pickup. Remember that little pickup I had?
Yes, I do remember that pickup truck.
Yeah, it was fun to drive. And then I had a...
I want to say it was a 78, 79.
Maybe, or 80 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little Nissan pickup. And
Tell the story about when your mom and dad went to town to buy groceries.
okay.
And you were
Well,
12.
yeah, when I was 12 years old, my mother and dad would have to went into Peterborough. The way they made money to buy groceries, they had eggs, dozens and dozens of eggs. They had an egg book, and they went around and sold eggs to these houses, and they kept the price at the same price, whether the eggs were higher or lower. So they had a lot of customers. And then, but anyway, I was left at home with Lloyd and Garnet, my brother, and they would fight like most boys. And I'd run out to the barn, check the old pig, the old sow. She was delivering piglets. Make sure she didn't lay on them, move them out, run up to the house, check the boys, run down, check the sow. And my dad said, "You have the team of horses out there at the end of the lane, who couldn't drive in, it was too much snow, eh? You have those team of horses out there at exactly 3 o'clock." And I had to have them there for 3 o'clock, so we could bring the groceries in. I took them out also, took them out with the eggs in the morning. I guess he drove the horses in, but I had to have them out there. Harness them, hook them up, and take them out.
And how big were they?
Pardon?
How big were those horses?
Well, they were Clydesdales, so I had to stand. If we didn't have a collar on them, I had to stand on a milk stool, which is about that high, and to fasten the collar on the top of the head. Yeah.
But were they gentle?
Oh yeah, lovely horses, lovely horses. I love them. Yeah. Yeah, it was tough. If we didn't have like a woods on our farm, so we'd buy wood, and we ran out of money. Mom would say, "If you want supper, go out along there's the odd tree here and there, eh? And the wind would knock the limbs off. Better go and gather some of those limbs, or you won't have any supper." Because then we could bring them in, cut them, put them in the stove, and she'd cook the potatoes and the meat and all that stuff. Yeah.
And how many kids in your family?
6.
Name them.
5 boys and a girl. There's me, Lloyd, Garnet, Cliff, Stu, and Joanne. And Lloyd. I mentioned Lloyd, didn't I?
Yeah, you mentioned Lloyd.
Yeah. And yeah, it was a tough life, but it was a good life.
So how did you become a welder?
Well, I was in the GE, and I wanted to get
No, so after high school, so you're in high school, and then what?
Oh, God. I was in GE for 5 years, just doing an ordinary jobs on the line, et cetera. Then I got laid off. Everybody was laid off in 1958. There was a depression or a recession. I delivered bread with a truck. I became a body man. I did body work. And then I got back in GE, and then I just had an ordinary laborer's job. And I thought, well, if I want to better my family, get more money for my family, I have to become something. So I decided I'd like to be a welder, and I worked at it. I went and took night school, took my mathematics, upgraded my mathematics, drafting. You probably don't even know what drafting is now because everything's done on a computer, but anyway. And then I had to go in on Saturdays, my day off, and 1 night a week, or 2 nights a week, and learn to weld. And then I got a job at GE and welding in the structural steel, and then from there I happened to get on maintenance, and they liked me, and I did a good job, and I became a millwright and a welder there, yeah, and in my career there.
But how long was your apprenticeship as a welder? Like, was it a...
Oh, it was only like a 6 weeks or 8 weeks course. It was up to you. Only less than half was me today. The other half didn't make it. Yeah, so you either had the talent or you didn't.
So, okay, what's your big advice to kids nowadays? Like, from what you see of the world and...
Get a trade. Get education, but a trade is probably the best thing in the whole world right now.
Core knowledge.
Eh?
It's core knowledge.
Yeah.
Get a trade.
Oh yeah. Because they never replace pipe fitters, electricians, welders. They'll become automated somewhat, but they'll always have to have hands-on or some guy with talent there that can run that machine. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sign out, Dad. Say, see you later.
Sayonara.